Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is game number 2 here between IdrA and BcuzofuProS. This time we are here on Shakur's Plateau. IdrA spawning in the upper right position as our green Zerg player, and over here in the bottom left, BcuzofuProS as our blue Terran player. So spawn across positional, IdrA saying because BcuzofuProS is terrible past the 10-minute mark. So once again, IdrA, a great player, a bad human being. So anyways, oh man, I just can't get over can't get over it. You can hate me for it if you want, but I just don't understand the need to be excessively rude. His parents must have done a terrible job of raising him. All right, so BcuzofuProS right now starting out here, he's going to be doing a wall off, starting off with a depot at the front, and then of course we'll be going racks with that second depot over there. Now back over here, we will want to keep an eye. I do expect IdrA, given the fact that they're cross-positional, we did see him go hatch first last game, so I wouldn't be all that surprised if he did the same thing this game as well, going hatch first. Obviously going to be the stronger economic decision, albeit a little bit riskier against any type of aggression. Now, I don't expect BcuzofuProS to do the same type of proxy 2 racks. In fact, it looks like he will, in fact, be doing that full wall off here at the front. But yeah, last game was pretty intense, ended very quickly, and as you saw by IdrA's comments, he's saying that, well, that's the only thing that BcuzofuProS can do. So we will have to see, though. We have got this series, and let's see how it ends up panning out. BcuzofuProS momentarily was going to go for the refinery there, but decided instead to drop it over in this position. So interesting decision there on his part. Maybe, given the fact that it is possible for IdrA to be spawning over here, maybe that is partially due to the reason why he decided to do the refinery over here. So just in case the Overlord moved in from this direction, it'd just be a tad bit longer until he actually scouted it out. And there you go, he's actually checking right now the corner for that possibility of Overlord. So again, if he had the refinery here, IdrA would have known just that much sooner. And I know it's not a lot. IdrA would just have to sneak in a little bit further to see the fact that this mineral field has been mined, but still, even just a little bit helps. So that's again why he decided to place a refinery over here. We have a tech lab coming down. Looks like will be a Reaper opening from BcuzofuProS. IdrA did decide to go hatch first, following that up with that spawning pool. Still no extractor right now for IdrA, and in fact we are going to be seeing, oh my gosh, BcuzofuProS already preparing that bunker for when that Reaper does pop out very, very, very early though. One thing that this does do though is, as you can see, it's forcing IdrA to stay off the line, so he's got 4 workers right now not mining. He will be moving out with the scouting 1. In fact, we'll just be using 2, and there's the forced cancel of the bunker. So BcuzofuProS did lose some resources because of that. Not a full 100 as is displayed here, but he lost part of those resources, doesn't get a full 100% back. We do have that extractor coming through right now for IdrA. Spawning pool is up, so here comes that first queen. The second base over there, that expansion, natural expansion, just about to finish, and there you go, that pops as well. So time to come down with another queen. Now we do have a Reaper moving on out, and let's see what he follows it up with. Is he going to be doing a second Reaper? There we go, Reaper taking out the scouting worker, and there's that expansion, and we'll actually be lifting off that racks, and we do expect a factory to go down here on this tech lab. So there you go, we'll be just going straight right now with those normal marine production out of that racks. But here comes the first Reaper. Don't really expect it to do a ton of damage, just some scouting, because you may try to come out that bunker to just force IdrA to make some more Zerglings and maybe even force him off the line as well. Certainly a possibility. There we go, Overlord Scout moving on in this direction. We've got the one heading on over to where BcuzofuProS is, and that should be there in just a few minutes. So here we go, Reaper and SCV moving on in, and let's see if that forces the production of some more Zerglings or not. It's going to be killing off one worker. There you go, a little bit of nice micro, pulling back with that SCV just in time. Needs to be careful though, doesn't want to lose that. And there we go, Reaper at the high ground getting a couple free shots of that queen. We got a second queen moving on down though. Reaper does need to be careful. Zergling's trying to get around right now. He needs to try to micro away from IdrA's Zerglings. He's taking a little bit of damage. He's going to manage to hop down to the low ground. There we go, BcuzofuProS managing to make it away. Looks like he lost that SCV scout. Zergling's able to take that off on the creep there, and yes, there you go. Reaper will be heading back now. Is he going to be grabbing the tower, or is he going to be heading back fully? He should be able to just stay in the middle right now, try to get a little bit of map control. Now, even if those Zerglings pop out, the Reaper has no problem just hopping up into the high ground, and then, of course, he will want to use this Reaper shortly for a secondary scout, checking for a Roach Warren or anything like that. He wants to see the layer timing, additional extractors, all of those things are necessary. Now we do have Hellion production coming on through, and there's that Blue Flame as well. So BcuzofuProS will be following up with some Blue Flame Hellions. We do have the Starport coming out. May very well be attempting to go with a drop as well. BcuzofuProS expansion just popping up, so should be working to get that saturated sometime soon as well. Now, that early aggression didn't really do a ton of damage, but he did get a couple shots off. I believe he killed a couple of Zerglings there as well, and I know at least one worker he was able to get. I do have that Hellion situated here in the middle, and again, we are going to be seeing continuous Hellion production. That Infernal Pre-Igniter will be finished in just one moment. We'll be interested to see. There it is, the medevac coming out. So again, we could very well be seeing that Blue Flame drop once that does finish, and we get at least one more Hellion out in play. Could very well be seeing that come into play, and again, because of you, would have a great opportunity to really do a ton of damage. I mean, look how clumped up these workers are. Really going to depend, of course, on whether or not IdrA scouts out the medevac once it does come out, and that drop is making its way on through. Marines coming on down. We'll be shooting at IdrA's Overlord. I believe IdrA should be able to make it out. It's going to be very, very close, but no. The Marines managing to kill him just within range there. Unfortunately enough for IdrA, so he will be forced to come out with a couple Overlords to get rid of that supply block. He's actually 6 over right now, so there we go. We got 3 Overlords just about to pop. A couple of Zerglings heading across the map right now. They will actually be running that Reaper up into the high ground. The Reaper might be able to get a little bit of micro there, taking a couple shots, but here come the Blue Flame Hellions. Now, one big problem right now because of you is that he just shown his hand right now. Now IdrA knows that Blue Flame Hellions are on the map. He saw that Blue Flame engage with his Zerglings, and here comes the drop right now. Will be Marines, the Reaper, and these Hellions here. First situated on the low ground to try to protect the Marines while the medevac is dropping them. And let's see how IdrA is able to respond. He does have a couple of Banelings. Overlord going to be getting dead right there. The Marines going to be killing off the Overlord. And here we go. I need to try to get those Banelings. Fortunately, lifting up those Hellions and trying to micro back those Marines as much as possible. Very nice there. He did manage to do a little bit of damage. However, IdrA looks like he will be able to mop things up. We do have a Viking coming forward to engage as well. These Marines are dead right now. Is he going to be able to get the Queen kill? Yes, he does. The Hellion trying to do a little bit of damage. Those got taken care of pretty quickly, though, because you really didn't do as much damage as he would have hoped there. Let's take a quick look here at the resources lost tab. They are about even right now. I do want to take a look, too, at the number of workers killed. Overall, because of you, has only managed to kill off 3 workers, so not a ton, but you can see 29 units killed overall. A lot of those being Zerglings, as well as the Queen mixed in there as well. So unfortunately, because of you, wasn't really able to do much economic damage there. That really is a primary focus. He unfortunately was overwhelmed by the Speedlings and the few Banelings that were thrown in there. And IdrA doing a great job of actually coming out with those Queens as well, so providing a little bit of a meat shield for those Speedlings and Banelings, allowing them to swoop on in and take out those Marines very, very quickly. So that was certainly a nice response there by IdrA. Again, even though he's about in the same position in terms of resources lost, at least he isn't that far behind. And again, he didn't take much economic damage at all, and that was really a big danger in a push like that. And oh no, the Hellions moving across the map right into some mutas right now. IdrA pumping out those mutalisks. Let's take a quick look. We've got 5 in play, 2 more coming out here as well. We also have that level 1 flyer attack coming on through, so IdrA will be trying to do a little bit of damage. Let's check the protection here against those mutas. We do have some turrets coming on through. Is it going to be enough, though? He's actually going to be losing this SCV before that turret finishes. We have a couple Marines coming on down. They do not have stim pack, though. It'll be finished in just one moment. And there we go. A couple of reactors coming down on those 2 racks as well. So it looks like because of you, we'll be going into Marine tank, I do expect, although he hasn't really started that tank production yet. We'll be sticking with Marine heavy right now. He's also got some Hellions in play. Now, Hellions allow you to be a little bit more mobile, and they still help protect you against those Speedlings and Banelings, but the tank splash damage and, you know, being able to siege up like that and take a strong defensive position isn't something you can really do with the Hellions. And again, the major problem is that those Hellions, they can be overwhelmed by Speedlings as well. I know the tanks can as well. Overall, though, I would say Marine tank is a stronger build. We will have to see how Because of You manages to deal with just going with those Marine Hellions instead. It's got a couple Marauders thrown into the mix as well, although not a ton. Now, keep in mind, we have stim pack right now, so those Marines will do quite a number on those mutalisks if they do get within range. IdrA is moving on into his 3rd expansion, doing his best to try to get an economic advantage. He's got a whole bunch of upgrades coming on through as well. Do want to spot those evolution chambers. Not sure where that is placed. There we go. We got an evolution chamber situated right over here, and the melee attack level 1 upgrade just about finished. But again, we do have that flyer attack weapon, the flyer attack upgrade finished just right now. No, you're gonna be losing those Hellions. At least 1 gets dropped. We do have that small push right now coming across the map from Because of You. And let's see how IdrA is able to deal with this. He's got a few Speedlings and Banelings there, sitting on a lot of mutas right now. And actually, at this point in the game, this muta heavy is actually really strong right now for IdrA. He's got an opportunity to really do a good job of sniping off some of these units. And here comes that push right now. And again, much more mobile with these Hellions instead of these tanks, but unfortunately losing the Hellion right there. And the slow push moving across the map right now. Let's see how IdrA is able to respond. Moving out with those Speedlings and Banelings. Marines stimming up, microing back a little bit. Here come those mutas as well, trying to get a full strand, but no, there are way too many Marines for those Mulas right now. All those Speedlings and Banelings were taken care of from that Marine DPS, plus those Hellions right there. Hellions moving on down, trying to deal with those Speedlings, allowing those Marines to take care of the Mulas, but no, looks like IdrA is going to be able to overwhelm because of you right now. We do have some Marine reinforcements coming down. Will that be enough to force IdrA back? Looks like it is. We've got a couple of Marauders as well as those Hellions trying to move on down. That's going to be easy pickings here for the Mutas of IdrA. Taking a little bit of loss there. I believe he lost a couple of workers. Wasn't all that much, though. And again, some nice defense here by IdrA because of you moving across with that strong Marine Hellion push. IdRA's been doing a decent job of defending against it, pushing forward. And again, it looks like he does have enough Mutas to deal with these Marines, although he is taking quite a few losses. A few more Marines coming down when they're just straggling in one at a time. That's really not an issue at all for IdrA. IdrA really has a pretty easy time of dealing with that. Now, I do want to see, it doesn't look like there's been any harass here in the main or anything like that. No additional drops that have been going on for because of you. I think during engagements like this, when we have a big, large engagement in the middle, if you can spare the forces to bring a drop down at a main or in one of those expansions, that can really put you in a phenomenal position, especially when the Zerg player's focused in the middle there. But IdrA, of course, being a very strong player, he's got spread creep over here. It's going to allow him to spot any possible drops that may be coming through. And right now, IdrA seems to be in quite a strong position. He's got quite the death cloud and Mutalist right now, and he has been doing a good job of thinning up the Marine numbers up because of you, and that allows his Mutas to do a lot more damage. We're finally seeing because of you work his way into some siege production. He's also got that armory coming through. It's going to allow him to work his way up into the Thors, and the Mutas taking out that missile turret, but forced back by these Marines right now. Wasn't able to do much economic damage there at all. Unfortunately, IdrA again trying to do the best that he can to try to harass because of you whenever possible, and he really needs to try to get in there, especially whenever because of you's forces are making their way across the middle. Take advantage of that speed and mobility. And there we go, going to be getting a free medevac kill, and then pushing back right now, and IdrA again just trying to keep up this harass, and the biggest thing he's trying to do is keep because of you on his back foot, keep him inside of his base and not harassing IdrA, not working towards his expansions or anything like that. We've got a couple of Stim Marines moving forward, and here we go with those Marines out of position right now. They're going to be taking a few more medevac kills. There's one right there, and then pushing back, and again just dancing back and forth here. IdrA keeping up this constant harass. As we can see, he's worked his way down into his 5th expansion over here. We're going to start to get that a little bit saturated. That the main mineral patch getting a little bit low right now, and here we go, main force moving across the map right now for because of you, and IdrA will be forced to pull back with those Mutas to try to defend against this. Zergling grabbing that Zelnaga tower was able to spot that large force pushing across. We do have a lot of Speedlings and Banelings here in the middle right now for IdrA, and he's getting ready to engage that heavy Marine force. And we have those Mutas just kind of dancing around right now. They're waiting to engage, and again trying to do things just like this, kill any units that are on the fringe of the main Marine force, and that's really the big advantage to these Mutalists. They're so quick and they're so mobile. Of course, being that flying unit, that they're able to take these small groups of units and kill them very quickly. You can see right now that small amount of Marines forced to push back. Tanks sieging up right now, and with those Marines pushing forward, that's going to force those Mutalists back right now. And IdrA is again going to attempt to do what he can to pick off some more medevacs there. There we go. Got that one. This one sitting over here, very low health, and we'll be able to snipe that down as well. Getting a few reinforcement Marines over there. We've got some more reinforcements moving across the map, but IdrA, if he can pick off those reinforcements, very strong. He's got all those Speedlings and Banelings went over there, and here comes a free tank kill, but no, the Marines actually going to force them back, and oh no, IdrA engaging that right now. That's a bit too many Marines to actually engage, so he should be pulling back, and there we go. Look at how vulnerable this tank line is right now. If those Mutas could have been just managed to sneak on over there before those Marines pulled back, that would have been absolutely amazing. However, obviously those Marines were in that back position because they were dealing with those Mutas, so that means they wasn't able to do so. But those Marine numbers starting to get pretty thin right now, and we do have a lot of Speedlings and Banelings. IdrA really looking to sit in a strong position, and he's just slowly getting more and more kills with each and every engagement. One Baneling getting taken out there. We have a few Zerglings situated over here. We don't have an expansion yet. A 3rd expansion for because of you. He's still just sitting on those 2 bases. Really not the best of things. And here comes a large engagement for IdrA, moving down with those Speedlings and Banelings. First pushing forward with those Speedlings, taking a lot of that splash damage, allowing the Banelings to roll on in to those Marines, and the Mutas taking care of those tanks. And IdrA quite handedly took out everything that because of you had, sitting now with just a few Marines, and we've got some more Zerglings coming out, 52 in fact, and that's gonna have no problem dealing with the small force of Marines that we do have because of you with. He's got some more reinforcements though. What the big thing that he really needs to do that he hasn't yet is do some dropping here on these expansions and do economic damage. He has, although he's been engaging in the middle, he has been allowing IdrA's economy to go unchecked for quite a while now. And that is certainly a big problem and something that he does need to try to remedy at some point. There's a free Marine kill over there for IdrA, then pulling back with his mutas as those Marines start to chase him down. We do have BcuzofuProS attempting to move right now into this third expansion. He should be able to get that up temporarily while IdrA is distracted in the middle right now from this push that's coming across from BcuzofuProS. BcuzofuProS needs to be careful not to get caught out of position. Here we go. We get some infestors coming down. Those tanks not yet sieged. Allow those infestors to get within range. Drop a huge fungal growth on those Marines, and there you go. Getting some free tank kills. BcuzofuProS really not in the best position right now. He has to be so careful with those Marines. Now that he has those tanks siege up, alright, the tanks did just unsiege, so that's really the time for IdrA to push in, although without eyes on the fact that those tanks were pushing back, he really had no idea that that was going on, so there's nothing that he could do to actually respond there. Couple Marines moving, couple Zerglings moving across the map, checking for expansions right now. He does want to see if and where BcuzofuProS has expanded. There we go. You can see that the Marines have pushed back right now. IdrA really sitting on a very strong economy. You can see that huge economic advantage right now for IdrA. Again, he has had this expansion up for quite a while, and he's been working into an additional expansion as well. All in all right now, IdrA is really sitting in a comfortable position. Now, we can see resources lost. They are about even, but the biggest thing is that IdrA has been macroing so very hard. You can see 2 weapons upgrade there for the ground units, 2 for those air units as well. He's got a fair amount of infestors. I'm not sure. Yes, he does have hive tech in play. Not sure if he does plan broodlords. He doesn't have that greater spire quite yet, but here we go. Finally coming through with that greater spire. So he will be getting ready to move into broodlords sometime soon. And just look at the death cloud. This is really the big advantage right there for IdrA. Huge amount of mutalists and just the amount of devastation that they can lay so very quickly and then pull back for a retreat really cannot be understated. So again, we do have this expansion right now for BcuzofuProS. He is unsieging his tanks and getting ready to push forward. IdrA is going to be moving down to engage. Here comes a big fungal growth on all of those Marines. Here's the second. Oh no, that actually infestor got dropped before he was able to drop that second fungal growth there. So unfortunately, IdrA losing that infestor before he could get down that second fungal growth. A little bit concerned, actually coming out with a few spine crawlers right now as well. We do have another expansion getting ready to go down for BcuzofuProS. He will be moving on into this position once he's ready with that command center. And here we go. Tanks and Marines pushing across the map. IdrA continuing to dance around with these mutas. He is spotting those unsieged tanks right now. Looks like as such he will be moving down with these infestors. Nope, there we go. Tanks sieging up. Not going to be able to push on that. Going to be taking out that one tank there. And the infestors are primed. Look at how much energy they're sitting on. We got a lot of speedlings and banelings. And here we go. Corruptors coming to play. That greater spire just about finished. So we will be seeing broodlords sometime soon. Finally, here goes some not actually dropping action. Never mind. He's just going to be dropping onto the high ground there. So he's not actually doing any econ harass. We've got one tank on the high ground plus that Thor, some defense there. And BcuzofuProS trying to make his slow push. Now we've got 6 broodlords coming into play. BcuzofuProS really needs to engage before those come out, because with those broodlords plus those infestors, there's really not a lot that BcuzofuProS is going to be able to do to deal with that. The Marines won't be able to push up against those broodlords with that infestor dropping fungal growth, because we're making a slow push at least into these spine crawlers, and he's going to take these out pretty quickly right now. We've got a Viking moving down to engage, and here come the broodlords though. One Viking won't be enough. We do have some 2 Thors going down as well, but IdrA with those broodlords going to start getting some free kills right here. We can see right now those tanks forced to unsiege, and those speedlings plus those banelings and infestors of IdrA pushing forward with that frontal defense of those broodlords. He's feeling pretty comfortable right now. This is a big scary push. We finally have heavy Viking numbers coming out for BcuzofuProS. That's exactly what he needs against these broodlords, but even with those Vikings, you still run the risk of getting fungal growth from those infestors. So IdrA, it's really going to come down to positioner right now. We do have, here we go, and those Vikings moving down to engage those broodlords. Muta is going to be trying to force them back, and here we go, moving forward as well with those infestors to try to protect those broodlords. And IdrA making a very strong push right now. Needs to be careful with those infestors though, because he doesn't want to walk into the tank line. Look at how quickly that infestor got taken care of. He did drop a second fungal growth there as well. Marines moving forward for some more sniping, and again IdrA losing some more infestors right now. Unfortunately, he's got a couple speedlings down there engaging that expansion. Stim Marines move forward. That infestor count, the broodlord count's getting pretty low. The infestors dealing a lot of damage to those Marines though. Very, very nice. We still got a few speedlings and banelings. No more broodlords in play right now. We do have 5 more coming into play though. Here we go, pushing down with those speedlings and banelings. Also moving down with those infestors. Needs to be careful once you get those fungal growth on those Marines. Looks like that tank number is getting pretty thin because of this muta engagement. And oh no, losing some more infestors right now. But at the moment, BcuzofuProS very low and calling the GG. BcuzofuProS opened up this game with some Reaper harass. With that, he was able to do a little bit of damage, although not a ton. IdrA did a great job of responding, pulling down with his queens, and actually managed to get a sandwich on that Reaper to prevent any more damage. We then saw Because of You move into a drop, pushing forward with some Marines and Blue Flame Hellions. Unfortunately, with this drop, he wasn't able to do as much damage as he may have hoped, because with IdrA with a very strong response moving down with his Queens, Speedlings, and Banelings, he was able to mop up everything that Because of You dropped with. We then saw both players macro up as IdrA worked his way into Spire Tech and then moved out into his third expansion. And Because of You prepared for transition into a Marine Hellion push, as opposed to the typical Marine tank. Because of You's Marine Hellion medevac push came at the 13-minute mark. Now IdrA was able to respond with some Speedlings and Banelings, however some good micro. The Marines did stay alive for that first engagement, however the second engagement with some more Speedlings and Mutas was enough to mop up the rest of the Mutas, and mop up the rest of the Marines, and then eventually deal with the Marauders and Hellions. For the rest of the game, we saw continuous back and forth as Because of You tried to defend against the constant Muta harass from IdrA. Now IdrA didn't end up spending too much time in Because of You's main and natural, but has spent a lot of time picking off units on the fringe of his army. We saw lots of engagements take place in the center of the map, however Because of You was never actually able to push onto any of the expansions of IdrA, and as such IdrA maintained a strong economy for most of the game, which is really what led to his victory. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy this game number 2 here between IdrA and Because of You. We are now tied up 1-1 in this series between the two players. We'll be moving on to game number 3 in just one moment. As always guys, if you like the content, please subscribe. Thank you for watching. Keep watching and keep owning.